everyone, I'm your host, Elise Murphy, and welcome to the Elise Show. Tonight, we have a special guest from the Renaissance, Mr. Niccolo Machiavelli. Well, hello, Mr. Machiavelli. I've heard that your book, The Prince, makes Darth Vader look like a good ruler. Is that true?
Well, let's just say people are kind, honest, and naturally good. Just kidding, they're weak and easily manipulated.
Well, folks, isn't that a shocker? The guy that wrote the book about doing whatever it takes to get to the top, even lying, cheating, or killing, thinks that people are easily manipulated. Just kidding, I was totally expecting that.
I believe that the end of purpose always justifies the means. In other words, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you get the result you were looking for. Who cares?
It's quite interesting, Mr. Machiavelli. You have inspired many people throughout history. Can you name some of them?
Well, Elise, I've influenced many people, including Francis Bacon, Carl Schmitt, and John Adams. I also had Machiavellianism named after me.
Isn't that cool, folks? Now tell us, Mr. Machiavelli, what is Machiavellianism?
I'm glad you asked. Machiavellianism is a negative term used to characterize unscrupulous politicians like the ones described in my book, The Prince.
You must be so proud to have such a delightful term named after you.
I am.
Good. Now can you tell us a little more about yourself? Like, when were you born? What interesting stuff?
I was born in Florence, Italy on May 3rd, 1469. I lived in the Renaissance time period, and I was a historian, a politician, a diplomat, a philosopher, a humanist, and of course, a writer.
Wow, that's a lot of titles. You are obviously very important in your time. What would you consider the most interesting part in your life?
Well, I really enjoyed the years when I was second chancery, and when I was the secretary of the DC di Liberté di Dace. But the most interesting time in my life was probably when the Medici family came back, and I was imprisoned, tortured, and sent into exile. After that, I retired to my country house in San Casciano Val di Pesa, where I wrote my masterpieces. There, I wrote The Prince, as well as Discourses on Livy.
Wow, prison and everything. I would say that you are definitely an interesting person. Can you tell us what the Discourses of Livy is?
Yes, the Discourses on Livy illustrates how a republic should be structured. It openly explains the advantages of a republic. It became one of the central texts of republicanism.
That's quite an achievement, sir. You are definitely left an impact on the world. We'll be right back with Mr. Machiavelli's daughter, Bettina Machiavelli.
Hello, I'm Niccolo Machiavelli, and I'm here to sell my book, The Prince.
I love this book.
It's delightful!
It's only $29.95.
Politics are great. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Bettina Machiavelli, Mr. Machiavelli's daughter. So, how are you, Bettina?
I'm doing swell. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. It's a pleasure having you both on the show. Can we start off with some questions?
Absolutely.
So, what is it like being a ruthless politician's daughter? No offense, sir.
Well, I wouldn't call him ruthless. I'd call him logical. He thinks about everything logically, and he always thinks he's right. His way is the best.
I guess that's one way of looking at it. Can you tell me the best part of having Machiavelli as a father?
Well, there's a lot of stories, but I guess I'll tell you my favorite one. Growing up with a father that was more logical and moral was very interesting. Every morning when I woke up, my father had the day completely, perfectly planned out. We would each get a schedule, which laid out everything we were doing that day, including our lessons, our meals, and what we were doing. Everything.
Now, I have a question. How is that your favorite
I'm
story?
more like my father than my mother. And I love having everything planned out. I've always looked up to my amazing, caring father as a good example to lead a good life.
Wow, I bet your father is so proud. Can you tell us more about an average day at the Machiavelli household?
Growing up with 5 siblings could make our days pretty entertaining and chaotic. But my father always kept us in control. I was always his favorite. Right, Daddy?
Of course, darling.
Well, we all thought we were your favorite, but you always kept us all in line. Every day, for our schedule, Mom would make breakfast, and we would eat together in silence. Father always said that eating was more efficient without talking. We ate our meals this way. Our lessons were always strictly educational, and we got as much done in one day as possible. We were so tired by dinner, we almost fell asleep in our mashed potatoes.
Well, that sounds like a very eventful day in the life of Machiavelli. Thank you. Thank you both for speaking at the Elise Show, and I hope to see you again soon. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week with Michelangelo. Well, hello, Mr. Machiavelli. I've heard that your book,
Tell us
what the Disorius of on Livius?
That's wrong.
We would wake up. My father would have the day completely, perfectly planned out.